Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network proud to present ODAC Semifinal Lacrosse here from Schellenberger Field in Lynchburg. I'm Kyle Haney. We've got Sam Graham. We've got Tim LaDuca. We've got Star Power, and we've got a great game as well. The Roanoke Maroons come in to take on Lynchburg. These two teams met a little over 3 weeks ago. It was a close ball game. Tim, what do you expect from this one? A little bit more on the line here in the ODAC semifinal.
Yeah, the Hornets looking to go for the first three-peat in ODAC history since Roanoke did it back in the late 80s. So Lynchburg's going to be going up against the Maroons here, and the Maroons are going to look to keep that high pace up, one of the top goal-scoring teams in the conference, and a big reason for that is Whitlow and Cameraman. Let's see those two flying up the field everywhere. Of course, one of the guys trying to stop them is going to be Chris D'Arminio, who had one of his best nights as a Hornet last time they played Roanoke with 4 caused turnovers, 6 ground balls. And the Cameraman brothers, we got a little history here with those Cameraman brothers playing in Roanoke. Their father played for Roanoke, and head coach for the Maroons, Pilot, he actually recruited their father back in '89.
Well, Coach Pilot's been around for a long time. Coach Kadelka's been around for a long time. We could talk about the coaching matchup some, Sam, but I think both guys would prefer the spotlight to be on their players, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you know, Kyle, I think they would both certainly say that, even though the two of them have combined for 58 years of experience, both over 300 wins. It's going to be right around 700 combined going into tonight's contest. But yeah, Tim, you bring up a lot of interesting stuff. Obviously, this is a super prolific offense in Roanoke. We didn't see their best day when they came to Lynchburg last time, but they still put up 11 goals. Another big part of that, not very mistake prone. One of the better teams at taking care of the ball, limiting those turnovers. And on the other side, the best team in the ODAC in causing turnovers. So yeah, Whitlow and Cameraman, both a pair of studs. And on the other side for Lynchburg, I mean, you look at that last win against Hampton-Sydney, 14-2. 11 of those goals scored by freshmen. Top two of the best offensive pieces for Lynchburg and veterans in Riley Mitchell and Jake Rust combined to go 0 for 11 with just 1 assist. So although that sounds bad, I think it's actually an encouraging sign for Coach Kadelka. Just think, you score 14 goals without those two. Welcome them back into the fold. Maybe some more minutes for Dylan Wolf. Could be looking at a really, really impressive offensive showing.
Well, we're excited to see how it unfolds here from Schellenberger Field. We'll have the face-off in just a moment between Roanoke and Lynchburg. Old Dominion Athletic Conference Tournament semifinal coming up next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
My name is Davion Washington Jr. I have the honor of serving as the student body president. I have 5 little siblings. I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, and they look up to me. I'm setting the tone. I get to develop myself, make myself a better individual, but also I'm helping future generations, not even my family, but just future generations in general. I found my passion here. I found, the love for what I want to do. I just really had an amazing time here. It's changed, my outlook on life. You don't have to be famous to change lives. You don't have to be on the big screen or whatever. I change lives now, and I hope to continue to do that. Just same way that the University of Lynchburg has changed my life for the better.
All right, my name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I love the arts. I love acting. I love entertaining. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I pay my own tuition. I ain't got no help. I pay everything myself. I mean, I'm smart too. So they gave it like, you smart, here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that though. You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. We got everything for you. We got you a 24-hour library. You got these sorority fraternities. We got the shoot for you. Is you gonna put it on? That's how University of Lynchburg is. Success is in the details. You know what I'm saying? It's like you learn it, know better, do better. What I love is
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Schellenberger Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. We're getting set for ODAC semifinal lacrosse between Lynchburg and Roanoke. Kyle Haney, Tim LaDuca, Sam Graham, we're back together. We came up from the field there, the little mini preview, and guys, we touched on some great things in there. It's one game where no shortage of storylines, no shortage of things to talk about, guys. But once the ball gets put in play, once you get that opening face-off, you kind of put a lot of those stats and numbers behind you, and the game takes over. And we think it's going to be another good one between these two squads.
Yeah, well, Kyle, you and I were calling the women's semifinal game the other day between Lynchburg and Randolph-Macon, and that's kind of how we opened our broadcast that time. You're out of the regular season, you're into the postseason, and while there's certainly a lot you can draw on, everybody's record, for the most part, it's kind of reset back to 0-0, and Roanoke obviously coming off a win, a hard-fought win just 2 days ago. We'll see if there's any tired legs or anything like that, or if it's kind of the other side, a little bit of momentum as they try to go on the road for the second straight time this week and get another upset win.
Momentum's going to be important. I was thinking about this game right when I woke up today. I was really excited. This is a historic matchup. Roanoke leads the conference in ODAC championships. Lynchburg's not far behind with 9. Washington and Lee sprinkled in the middle there. But there's 3 facets to this game. Obviously, you got offense, midfield, defense, but the sun's going to tell the story about the 3 different storylines of this game. There's going to be when the sun's up, who's winning when the sun's setting, and then who wins when the lights are on, it's nighttime, and that final whistle goes. Just because you're up when the sun's up doesn't mean that that's going to be the way that it shakes out. Lynchburg went up big in the first quarter against Roanoke, and they hung around. They didn't get down. They came back, made it a close ball game. So just because you're winning when the sun's up doesn't mean that's going to be the final when the lights are shining the brightest.
That's some classical Shakespeare storytelling there, Tim, beginning, middle, and end. And I think it's a perfect way to set up the game. And I think coaches think that way too, don't they, Sam? I mean, yeah, you want to play 60 minutes of great lacrosse. But I think in your head as a coach, you're kind of compartmentalizing and breaking up the game those ways. Yeah, we've got 4 quarters. That's obviously another way to break it up. But I think to Tim's point, I think those 3 waves and 3 phases of the game are going to be so interesting to look at today. And it should be a game where 2 legendary coaches, they might have to make some chess moves in the middle part or the later part of the game. Who knows?
Yeah, well, the perfect lacrosse game has never been played. It never will be played, and you can say the same about virtually any other sport. There's always room for improvement, and Coach Kudelka, Coach Pilot, any great coach is going to be the first person to tell you that. The case of Coach Kudelka, coming off a 14-2 win over Hampton-Sydney, the first thing he said when I spoke to him after the game, well, there's a lot of stuff that we can go back to practice and work on and clean up. And, I'd say that he's probably right. But, yeah, I think – like you saw in that last meeting between these two squads, Roanoke put together a massive third quarter, put themselves right back in the game after going down 7-3. Lynchburg still came out on top, weathered the storm in that fourth quarter, but no reason that can't happen again today.
Yeah, so we should really quickly take a look at how the teams are starting out. I'll give you Lynchburg starters, and then Sam's going to run you through Roanoke starters. Of course, in goal for Lynchburg, you got the senior Tyler Hadley leading the league with a 59 save percentage. Then your midfielders are Riley Mitchell, Grant Voigt, and it's also going to be Riley Hastings on attack. Then you have Cole Nestor in the midfield, Chip Quinn on defense, Henry Marinden on defense, and then back in the starting lineup for Lynchburg, number 55, Dylan Wolf. Don't think we're going to see Finn Schmidt tonight, but when you roll in Dylan Wolf off the bench, coming off a little bit of an injury, and he's filling in for the freshman Schmidt, who's been sensational this year, got to be still feeling pretty good if you're Kudelka and the Hornets.
Lynchburg's got some great freshmen, Tim. But you can't go wrong with the old vets, and that's what Lynchburg will be rolling out today. Dylan Wolf, I spoke to him after that Hampton-Sydney win. He comes up with his first goal since March 10th, obviously sidelined that lower leg injury. Great to have him back, something that is going to be really exciting for Coach Kudelka and really this whole team. But, yeah, on the Roanoke side of things in goal, it's going to be Alex Foyer again. He kind of took over midway through the season. This will be his 13th start. He's having a great freshman campaign there between the posts. Then it'll be Weston Hammond leading the team in caused turnovers. Quinn Evans, Wyatt Whitlow, who scored 5 last time these two teams met. Matthew Jaries, Julian Kammerman, and his brother Luke Kammerman, who we'll talk about a lot today. And rounding it out will be Artie Williamson on defense. And in the midfield, Ethan Caldwell and Matthew Albertson.
Face-off specialist Michael Kraus and Brooks Cliver in the center to get things cranked up here. Both scrambling around on all fours, trying to clamp on it. Loose ball will get finally controlled by Lynchburg. It was never really a done deal until it was picked up there in the end by number 33, Cole Nestor. And now the Hornets will get their attack started, moving right to left from our perspective up here at the press box at Schellenberger Stadium. Good crowd has developed on that far sideline. We've got some great fans in the seats here behind us as the Hornets get a little patient possession going here. Sprint on the move from Jake Rust. Looked inside, couldn't find anybody. Stingy defense early from the Maroons of Roanoke. Down to one knee was Grant Voigt. He'll get it back to Rust. Now it looks like it's Riley Mitchell turning the corner, firing and getting on the board early. Riley Mitchell got himself in the middle and pulled the trigger from the three-quarter slot there and blitzed it by the Roanoke goalie. It's an early 1-0 lead, less than 60 seconds into the ball game. Hornets on top.
Interesting to see Roanoke come out in man-to-man defense. Lynchburg is so good on the dodge, and that's exactly how you want to draw it up. You got your leader on offense, Riley Mitchell, dodging over the top, and he's not going to miss from that angle very often.
I tell you what, man, I love Riley Mitchell. There's not a whole lot of guys in the conference or in Division III that can sling it like he can. That was another classic example of it. And, hey, we mentioned 0 for 7 last time out for Riley Mitchell against Hampton-Sydney. He struggled a little bit shooting in terms of percentage on the year, so that's a great way for him to start today's contest.
Kraus won the face-off, sprinted out of the fire with it, and then lost it on the far sideline. So it's Roanoke ball on a sunny day here in Lynchburg. Temperature feels great. Oh, loose pass there that Lynchburg's going to pick up and take advantage of. R.J. Barnes grabs it for the Hornets. He's on the attack. Now he'll tap the brakes and let the rest of the team catch up, and here comes the offensive situation for Lynchburg. You see Riley Mitchell going to get his stick involved. Now to center. That's Grant Voigt. Back to Mitchell. Fires, wants another one. That one was low and skips out of play. Should stay with Lynchburg here, guys. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Down to 60 seconds. Lynchburg with the early 1-0 lead. Hornets in those white jerseys with the red helmet. Roanoke's got a new helmet today. It's kind of that flat black look with the maroon jerseys. Lynchburg will get it to the X behind the net. Wraparound opportunity. One-hand goal stymied there. That was a great attempt by John Dias. And now Roanoke will take the possession. Long pole sprinting out of there with it. Maroons thought they had a fast break opportunity there, but they'll tap the brakes and slow it down just a little bit themselves. Stephen Conte in the mix. And now it's crossfield over to Julian Kammerman, one of those players to watch, along with his older brother Luke Kammerman. They play a two-man game back and forth. This is Julian Kammerman, high right slot. Ooh, finds himself open in the middle, but this shot was way off the mark.
Yeah, getting a fast shot coming down on the other side might be another great opportunity here, but looks like Hadley's going to kind of get in the way. A little physicality in close to the net. That's Chip Quinn scooping it up.
Big-time save by Hadley there. Nice stop. Of course, that defense anchored by Hadley in goal. ODAC Defensive Player of the Week again last week. And anytime you're talking about the Lynchburg defense, Chris D'Arminio has to be in the conversation. One of the best in the business in his career here at Lynchburg.
Yeah, and he really thrives off the face-off. Coach wasn't bashful saying that Chris D'Arminio is the best long stick midi in the country off the face-off. Haven't seen him make an impact yet on the face-off. We'll see how Roanoke continues to look to lock up D'Arminio, who had 6 ground balls against Roanoke the last time these two squads met.
Just a drop in the bucket of the 248 in his career that leads Lynchburg. Although if you can believe it, still a good ways away from the all-time top 10. Lynchburg's had some fantastic midfielders over the course of this program.
Roanoke on the move again. Wind-up shot there, skips out of play.
Yeah, and this one, you know, early on, we're 4 minutes in, and it's got a little bit of the same tune as the Hampton-Sydney game here to cap off the regular season. Hampton-Sydney had gotten a lot of good looks, and Tyler Hadley was just a stonewall in that first quarter. Here again, Kammerman with a good shot. Another one, you know, uncontested shot for Roanoke. Hadley comes up with a big save. This is where Roanoke could pick up momentum with these open looks, and Hadley is just absolutely thwarting it.
Luke Cameraman with the ball. Now he'll start a run. Gets to the center on the sprint. One-hand cradle. Now he'll toss to a teammate. Rifle shot deflected. Never got to Hadley that time. But now he'll control it. Lynchburg out of there, coming up the far right sideline. Good work again on the defensive side by Lynchburg as a team. Not a lot of clean looks for Roanoke. Really, the one clean shot they did have was the one that was furthest off the mark. But here come the Maroons again. Sean Kennedy on the move. Bothered there by Darminio. Now they'll get it back to the middle. Luka Docking looks around. No real urgency just yet. Roanoke working it around that defense. What do you see early from the Lynchburg defense, guys, that's been so successful?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of speed on this Lynchburg defense. Even more so than that, they communicate really well. They do a great job of that in practice. That's one of the biggest things Coach Kadelka will urge them on to do more of. And I think just it's a unit that's gotten better as the years progress, and also a lot of veterans on that end of the field.
And also Roanoke really spread out on offense, which at first is a good thing for Lynchburg. You're just going to have to look to see how those close defensive players are able to slide and help on the dodges as they break towards the net through the alley.
Aiden Sullivan up to Docking again. They pass back and forth to set up another offensive opportunity here. We're just over 5 into the first quarter at Schellenberger. Lynchburg leads 1-0. It was the goal that came about 51 seconds in. Lynchburg hasn't gotten a ton of shots since then. But we've seen some good battles in the midfield. Roanoke's had a few opportunities. Maybe another one for the Maroons here. Kennedy, that one will get saved cleanly by Tyler Hadley. You got a good look at that one. I think when Hadley sees it, he's as good as they come. So good with the stick back there, hand-eye coordination, and he seems to understand where guys want to go with it. Let's see where Lynchburg wants to go with it.
Yeah, Hadley, one of the best at tracking the ball. Just kind of what you're getting at there. Just really moves his stick with the ball, never takes his eyes off of it. And again, coming off one of his best games of the season, arguably his best when you factor in kind of the implications of that Hampton-Sydney contest, as that is what ultimately earned Lynchburg home field advantage throughout for the first time since 2015.
Good takeaway there. Effective stick check that time. Bryson Miller doing the dirty work for Roanoke, but Lynchburg has it back. Riley Mitchell flipping here to teammate who will circle the defense. Spencer Vandenberg with a good opportunity in front, but a nice save there, and more fast break opportunities coming for Roanoke. The Maroons on the move. Fake pass. Now they do pass it, and the game is tied. Ripper from the left side there. Ethan Caldwell set up in a good spot and got it past the defense of Tyler Hadley.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about in the pregame. Roanoke wants to get that ground ball and just run. So you see it there. Bryson Miller, he comes out with a lot of speed, and once he defers it to Caldwell, Lynchburg just hadn't been able to set their defense up yet, and it's going to be a wide open shot. Hadley can't save all of them, even though he already does have 4.
Yeah, Bryson Miller, just great control coming down too, even faking out our cameraman. That's not easy to do. We got a great bunch of cameramen and women here with LHSN. Big check there from Riley Krause. Let's see a flag down, but whistles are blowing. It's going to be a Roanoke player, a little slow to get up here.
Well, I think if you're Lynchburg, you love the intensity. Riley Krause proving he can do more than just specialize on the face-off as he lays the boom there. Major physicality. It is goal number 21 of the season for Ethan Caldwell. That's good for 6th on the team. And it's a team, guys, where Luke Cameraman, Wyatt Whitlow, Julian Cameraman get a lot of the headlines. But they've got some other guys that can really fill it up as well. Time out on the field. We'll catch our breath on this one as well. Tie ball game, 1-1, 8:18 left to play in the first period here at Schellenberger Field on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. We return to Schellenberger Field, 1-1 ball game between Roanoke and Lynchburg. ODAC semifinal action. Winner of this one gets to face Washington and Lee on Saturday. But Sam, you're thinking about so much. You've brought some trivia to the table here today. This better be easy, though.
Well, it's not every day that we get to have the three-man crew here on LHSN, but it's been a lot of fun so far. But keeping with that, I'll throw in the trivia. It's not something we do too often. Obviously, a lot of times just, one person on the call. But, yeah, so for Lynchburg, a lot of great veteran pieces, a lot of great young guys as well throughout the roster, especially on offense, like to cycle a lot of guys through. There's only one man, however, who has played all 17 games up to this point, now 18, for the Hornets. Can you guess who it is?
Well, why don't we let the fans chime in the chat for a little bit first, and we'll check it out.
Yeah.
See if anyone else can get it.
And it would be nice if a fan can get it without looking at the stats, because of course you can go to the website, and you should go to the website. It's fun to look at all those numbers and things if you're into that. But maybe you know it right off the bat. It will be Roanoke ball.
I got a good guess.
I say why wait? Or you want to see if
No,
a fan
we'll
answers
get
it
a
first?
fan
I got
going,
you. Yeah.
But we'll
give the answer coming out of our next break.
There you go. There you go. I wonder if we'll see another timeout before this first period ends, guys. We've got 7:20 left in it. Obviously, it's a tight ball game, 1-1. It's a better bad pass there for Roanoke. Unfortunately, off the mark, and it's going to be a turnover. I was just going to say it's a better start than the first time these two ball clubs met. Lynchburg won game one, won the regular season game 14-11, but Roanoke fell down 4-0, fell down 6-1. They had that furious comeback in the third quarter, Sam, and just fell short in the fourth. But this feels like a better start for the Maroons, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. They're playing a little bit more at their pace, although that last possession, uncharacteristic. Don't see many of those unforced errors coming on the side of Roanoke. Certainly like to get that one back. But again, mentioned it earlier, there's no perfect lacrosse game. Things like that are going to happen from time to time. And then you come down, your defense gets a stop, you get out of it scot-free. So good response there from Roanoke. Yeah, they've really done a good job kind of controlling their own momentum here in the early going.
And I like the way that Roanoke played Spencer Vandenberg on that possession, and pretty much for the whole game so far. Vandenberg, he's third on the team in goals, but he's probably had the ball in his stick for a total of 1 minute throughout the entire year. He catches and shoots so quick. But right there, Bryson Miller was right on Vandenberg, even though Vandenberg was behind the play. They're playing, they're matching feet with Vandenberg because they know that he's going to sneak behind the defense, and if he catches it, it's very quickly coming out of his stick. You're not going to have time to slide over.
Another rifle shot, bazooka from it. Looked like Quinn Evans. Quinn Evans, number 8, junior midfield from Cincinnati, Ohio, gets Roanoke their first lead of the ball game, 2-1. Camberman set it up. Good pass there. Lynchburg's defense a little late on the rotation getting over. Evans had a sight line, an alleyway to let one rip, and he was on target.
Yeah, you know that Lynchburg's going to have Cameraman and Wyatt Whitlow circled, especially after number 9 had 5 goals. You slide down the leaderboard a little bit. That's only the 18th goal. I say only the 18th goal for Quinn Evans. So as Roanoke takes their first lead, must be refreshing for Coach Pilot to see it coming from more than just his 3 studs.
Good battle right there. Lynchburg giving as good as they get. Physical stuff from the Hornets. You got to like that mentality. It is Roanoke ball. Lynchburg scrambled well to get over here on this near sideline in front of the Roanoke bench. But Maroons with the possession, with the lead. Sean Kennedy will walk down the right sideline there. It's Cameraman that's been on that right side most of the time. Luke Cameraman. We do have to be specific, guys, with younger brother Julian out there. And some great facts from Tim LaDuca about the former Cameraman player from Roanoke. This is a real family affair for the Maroons and the Cameraman family.
Yeah, when Pilot took over in 1989, one of his first recruits was James Cameraman. And since then, it's become a family affair. Luke was here first. And it was a decision for Julian if he wanted to come play here, but it just felt right in the family as Darminio gets the cost turnover and the ground ball.
And there you see what he's so good at. Chris Darminio with just a monster one-on-one takeaway. He ended up losing it on the offensive end, and now Darmenio's out of position. Chance for Roanoke. Yeah, they sense it. They take it. Luke Kammerman had to somersault and roll his way through the celebration there as he was going to ground, released a low riser that got by Tyler Hadley. Third time he has been beaten today. 3-1, Roanoke leads. Fast break again. Kammerman's going to come in here. Caught the tail end of that. May have been a previous play, actually. But, guys, you see the double-edged sword with Chris Darmenio. Great defensive effort. Tried to take it into the zone, maybe get a shot off. Then when he loses the possession, your defense is a little bit out of sorts there.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned pregame, this is an opportunistic defense. If you're Lynchburg, you really got to be careful taking care of the ball, as Roanoke, virtually every game they played this year, has ended up winning the turnover battle. And, again, leads the conference in the counting stat, total caused turnovers on the season. So you really can't afford to make mistakes like that. And then, again, that transition offense, like Tim has been talking to us about, and we've already seen it once today. That's the second time. For Tyler Hadley now, giving up those 3 goals, he had a great start. Needs to just kind of take a moment, calm down. Looked a little frustrated after that last goal. Just get back to what was working for him in the early going, and hopefully his defense can keep him clean as much as possible.
Penalty's going to get Lynchburg the ball back. They'll slow things down and let subs get on, I think, here. Yeah, Riley Mitchell's going to get back involved off the sideline. He's got it in the center. Roanoke will get the defense set up. Lynchburg down by 2. Still early, though. We've only got 4 left in quarter number 1. Hornets did get out to the 1-0 lead, but since then it's been 3 unanswered Maroon goals.
Yeah, look to see Jake Russ get more involved. Well, pardon me. How about Riley Mitchell take another one? My bad.
Right-handed goalie. He goes to the left side post there and slides it just inside. High velocity to get Lynchburg back within 1 here. 3-2, Roanoke leads. Latest Lynchburg goal coming with 3:50 left to play in the first quarter. Pretty early in this offensive possession, too, guys. It fooled you, Tim. You thought you'd have a chance to talk a little bit more, but Riley Mitchell seeing the opening and seizing the opportunity for a goal.
Yeah, we said Riley Mitchell really loves the angle coming from over the top, but it looked like Roanoke's defense kind of committing a little bit to Mitchell going over the tops, and he takes that dodge to the left side. He cuts off an angle a little bit on the goal, but such a great shooter, so dead-eye is Riley Mitchell that he's going to be able to fit that one in.
Yeah, two goals already today. That's going to get him up to 50 points on the season. So, Riley Hastings took over the point lead earlier over the weekend against Hampton-Sydney. Looks like maybe Riley Mitchell now in his senior campaign going right back after chasing that top mark once again.
You talked about Jake Russ getting involved for Lynchburg. I think we'll see that. When do you think we'll see Wyatt Whitlow get involved for Roanoke, guys? He's been relatively quiet. Circling behind the net right now is Whitlow. See if Roanoke does try to get back there to him, to the X there. Maybe he's just a decoy right now. Julian Kammerman. Oh, nice pass in front. A good save by Tyler Hadley. That was a nice setup by Roanoke, but Hadley with the stop on Julian Kammerman. Luke to Julian there, brother-to-brother combo, but stymied for the moment.
Yeah, and Whitlow, he does have those 44 goals, which is second in the ODAC, but he's 4th in assists as Hadley makes a save there. So even if Kammerman doesn't have the ball in his stick in front of the net, he can still make a lot happen from the X.
Matthew Albertson with a tight angle shot there from goal line extended left, and now Hadley will get out and run. We see this from time to time. He'll let one rip. That was goalie-to-goalie fire there, though. Hadley got it pretty close to on target and then saved. Now he'll hustle back. He's between the pipes in time, but Roanoke will set up another offensive set here. 2:30 left to play in the first quarter. 3-2. Roanoke on top.
That last possession was big for Hadley, especially that first shot he got in the way of. That was beautifully set up offense from Roanoke, and that's most of the time a relatively easy shot when you're in that close and going for the scooper, but it's just right there to track it like he did, kicking off this game. So getting back to the basics, and good stand from him, though sadly that last possession, not officially a turnover, but might as well be, and he's right back kind of with his back against the wall.
Oh, there's Whitlow. I believe it was Whitlow. Hang on, though. Let's confirm that here in a second. It was a bazooka shot from the right side. No, I think it was Luca Docking. It was number 2, Luca Docking. Whitlow was in the area, but a 2, not a 9, and it gets Roanoke their 4th goal of the season. Assist Sean Kennedy. Yeah, there it is. Winds up over the top. That one's a pretty sharp angle, too, over there, guys, but Hadley unable to keep it out.
Yeah, Docking, another one of these, you'd say depth pieces for Roanoke. Does have very nice 25 goals on the year already, make that 26. Though, it's funny, Kyle, every time you say his name, I think you're about to say Luka Doncic, but there's one critical difference between Luka Docking and Luka Doncic. You want to know what that is? One of them's in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that was good. That was a pretty good burn there. Sorry, Mavericks fans or Luka Doncic fans. I'm a Luka fan, but yeah. No, and you're right. I've been wanting to say that. It's Luka Docking, the junior midfielder from Chevy Chase, Maryland, with the most recent goal for Roanoke. Less than 90 to play here in the first quarter. Hard to say. It's been dominated by the Maroons, guys, but they've got a 2-goal lead, and I think they're going to milk this clock down a little bit and try to make it a 3-goal lead as we head to the second.
Yeah, it seems that Lynchburg's dominating on the face-off. Mikey Krause, one of the best to do it in the country, but it's 2 quick turnovers here in the first half as Krause carries it off the face-off. Good on him for getting the face-off win and getting the quick ground ball, but after those last few possessions, it might be time to shed it to one of your ball handlers to set up the offense.
This is Docking again. He'll run behind the net, still looking around. Good stick handling. Now Cameraman, one hand inside, split dodge. Got between a couple defenders, and I don't know if it was a shot or pass, but either way it was off the mark. Roanoke's going to hold on to it. Shot clock down to 12.
Yeah, that's a great offense-defense matchup there. So Roanoke thought they had a goal. The net did move, but it was on the wrong side of it. But, yeah, that's a great defensive-offensive matchup to watch as we go throughout today, especially if Lynchburg kind of remains in that man. Henry, Merendon, and Cameraman working one-on-one. Right there, Cameraman kind of gets the jump on him, gets the edge around. So point Cameraman, but that'll be a fun battle all evening long.
It's been fun watching how Lynchburg tries to bother Wyatt Whitlow. There's always a stick or two on him even when he doesn't have the ball. Down to 7 seconds. Sidelines are, I guess, wondering about shot clock maybe, as we do have a brief stoppage in play, and the officials are going to get together. Game clock says 5.8 seconds left in the first quarter. 5.8. It's a 4-2 Roanoke lead. They are going to put some extra time on the clock here. The signal was 10 seconds. So we've got 10 seconds. Enough time for Lynchburg to get something going. And it is Lynchburg ball behind the net. And here we go. The restart is on. Wraparound chance, lowers the shoulder. Good defense there, and the ball just kind of got bopped free. It was Riley Hastings who tried to lean his way in but couldn't find any space, and that's how the first quarter will end. It is a 4-2 Roanoke lead after 15 here at Shelley. We step aside for a brief timeout on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
The importance of playing at home in the playoffs is the atmosphere that Schellenberger creates. All of our fans being right on the sideline. It's an atmosphere that's unlike any other in the ODAC or even the entire country. It's an awesome experience.
It's a different atmosphere. It's nothing like anything else in college lacrosse. It's the best atmosphere that I've ever played in, and the fans make it like that.
I've learned that this team, no matter what happens, we're going to be able to rebound. We had a couple tough losses, but we were always able to come back and win that next game or just really show out. And I think this team has a lot of heart and a lot of soul, and I'm excited to see what we can do.
We're a young team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and those kids came in, all 3 freshmen on attack, and showed that they have the heart to play here. And it's made this team a lot more special because seeing those guys step up, it's cool to see.
Playing in the ODACs is a unique experience, and there's nothing quite like it.
And in the ODAC tournament it's special. It's a whole, you play the same teams during the regular season, but I mean, it's everybody's best shot. Like, it's do or die, and you're going to get everybody's best punch. So it's special.
Yeah, certainly getting Roanoke's best punch are the Hornets right now, and that's just what this Lynchburg team expects here playing in the ODAC Championship tournament semifinals. It's not a place that the Hornets are unfamiliar with, though, as they're looking to take a trip to the ODAC Championship and win their 3rd title in a row.
Yeah, talking some about that young talent, too. That's something that Coach Kudelka really, really excited about this year, and it'll pay dividends into the future. But it's paying dividends right now, and you look at Vandenberg. We don't have Schmidt tonight, but he's been great all year. Hastings, your reigning ODAC Offensive Player of the Week. He's been fantastic as well. You know, Coach said, I don't think you'll find many other, if any, top 20 teams in the country that have to rely as heavily as Lynchburg has on 2 freshman offensive pieces, much less 3, but that's what Lynchburg has done, and yet here they are still 12-5 with the ODAC's #1 seed.
And is that a hint at the trivia question? Is it a freshman player?
It is not, but I guess we are coming back from our first break, so are we ready? We ready for the answer?
Yeah.
All right, Tim, I'll let you give a guess first.
I was gonna go Hastings. I'm going Chip Quinn now.
Okay. Well, Kyle already knows the answer. Kyle took a quick sneak peek.
That'll stop you right in your tracks there. Dylan Wolf back in the mix, and he does not miss. Just too much space there for Dylan Wolf. Roanoke defense a little late getting there. Wolf makes it a 1-goal game, 4-3. Sorry to steal your thunder there on the trivia question, Sam. It was really Dylan Wolf that needs to apologize to you. Good passing, and yeah, Wolf, I think just too much room and a great job to get it on target, upper 90 right to beat the goalie. Yeah, Dylan Wolf needs to apologize for nothing at all. I'll actually segue off of that here in a minute before we talk about Wolf. Yeah, he said that goal he scored against Hampton-Sydney last week, although the game was effectively out of reach when he came in and scored that 10th goal for Lynchburg, he said that was probably his favorite moment in his entire time here at Lynchburg. That's a pretty big statement. It's a guy that's been to the national quarterfinals a couple of years ago, and obviously a fantastic senior, but definitely a big moment for him. As far as the trivia question goes, Dylan Wolf wears number 55. Take away one of those 5s, and you got your answer. It is Ian McCarthy. Wow. Fellow senior here for Lynchburg. All 17, now all 18 games here, making an appearance for Lynchburg. Tip the cap to Ian McCarthy. This is Grant Voigt. We haven't called his name a whole lot. He'll try to back a defender down, losing ground away from the goal. Now gets a teammate involved. It's Lynchburg ball. They trail by 1. Watch out for Wolf again, storming in. Now he'll back up. Ooh, like the hesitation, the pull back, and then the fire, but that one too high. 32 seconds left in the shot clock. 13:05 left to play in this first half, guys. It's 4-3. Maroons at the moment, but Lynchburg looking to change that. Hastings had it briefly, now behind the net. Good turn, partially blocked shot. Maroons are going to pick it up. It's a fight for it, but Roanoke will end up getting it back.
Yeah, Spencer Vandenberg's been playing with the ball in his stick a lot, not typically the way that we see the freshman from Illinois making an impact on offense. So might have to change it up a little bit, just get Vandenberg the ball in and out of his stick really quickly, even if that's just, passing around and facilitating. Maybe get him to free up a little bit on offense. Yeah, Vandenberg, one of the best shooters on the Lynchburg team, also in the country. In fact, inside the top 10 at number 3 at better than 60% shooting on the year. Hasn't quite looked like that so far today. And, Tim, it could be just because of that, Roanoke making him a little bit more uncomfortable and playing outside of his style. Also, the absence of Finn Schmidt, he might feel like he needs to do a little more workload offensively. Matthew Albertson coming from the left wing to the middle. Good ride, cross-check there. More physical lacrosse. That's been a theme all season. Look at this. Look at this battle right here. That's getting the benches pumped up from both sides. Fans showing their appreciation. Now Luke Cameraman has it. He'll come in from the right behind the net, looks around. Good sharp pass to the front that was really well intended, but just off the stick there, and Lynchburg is going to be able to clear this one away. Boy, that was as good of an exchange as you're going to see without a goal being scored. That was fabulous stuff there from both sides. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Kyle. Lynchburg's done a great job today of applying some of the pressure. They're not always the first aggressors in a lot of their games so far throughout this season. Today, we saw that shot from Michael Krause earlier. They've not shied away from any
extra contact there, and certainly R.J. Barnes applying some. And then a little jawing back and forth in the aftermath there with Albertson.
Connor Moore, long trip around. He went all the way around the net from the right side now to the left. And here is Ian McCarthy, the Iron Man, played every game, looked in there. Now he'll pass back to Moore. McCarthy and Moore out at the top here for Lynchburg as the sun finally drifts behind a cloud and we get a much better view. Got to ask how much that helps the goalies seeing the ball when the sun is in that transition phase from sun up to the middle part of the game that you talked about, Tim.
Yeah, I didn't want to get interrupted by a goal there. But
it was dangerous, yeah.
As R.T. Williams picked up the ground ball, I think we saw it affect Whitlow once on offense when Roanoke was shooting on this side of the field, the field we're currently on, standing in the sun. But, yeah, here we are. Roanoke is winning with the sun up. Now the sun's setting. Who's going to win the second phase of the game here midway through the first half?
Yeah, I like a little bit of a shift now for Lynchburg, starting to pack that inside a little bit more. Let's see, a little fusion there around midfield. But, yeah, no, on that last offensive possession, really like to see Lynchburg start to work their way around that middle of the field, pack in the interior. They've had a lot of success with that throughout the year, and obviously that Dylan Wolf goal already here in the second quarter.
Dom Zingo has been providing a lot of that physicality for Lynchburg defensively. It's worth mentioning his name. He's been in the mix, it seems like, on a lot of these Roanoke possessions. But, yeah, you have so much as Noah Goad will start an attack. Ooh, Goad gets by a defender. Low shot saved by Tyler Hadley. Good one there to anticipate, maybe read Goad's shooting action just a little bit to take that one away. Lynchburg ball now, 9:05 left to play in the first half. But, yeah, you've got a previous game that you can go back and watch. You go back and watch each team's last time they played, all that stuff. You can get as deep in the file as you want now at this point in the year, guys, and I think some coaches and players will do that. But even with those freshmen for Lynchburg, they're not unknowns anymore. Roanoke's going to have a pretty good book on what they like to do, how they like to score, and then you try to take that away.
Yeah, maybe the only difference now for Hastings out there and Vandenberg is just playing with that extra, intensity, the extra pressure of the ODAC game. But they played Salisbury, they played CNU. They've played really important games throughout the season. They played that must-win game against Hampton City there in the top seed. They've been here with the pressure. The adversity now showing its face in a little different way as Lynchburg leads in the first half.
Well, Steve Kadelka talks about that all the time, about building that non-conference schedule. What was it, six games against top 25 teams this season for Lynchburg? Of course, Washington and Lee's in that number as well, but it's been a meat grinder this year for the Hornets, and you feel like that's got to pay off in the long run. As long as those bumps and bruises don't hurt too bad, and I mean that from a mental and an emotional standpoint as much as a physical one here as we get a little bit slower exchange. Roanoke's going to get some things set up. This is Matthew Albertson who will toss to center. Now Quinn Evans going to get it cranked up. Luke Cameraman over there on the right side. Still have not talked about Wyatt Whitlow much. I don't even know if he has a shot, guys. We need to look that one up.
Yeah, Whitlow's been a little quiet. That's kind of how it was in the first game, too. He had a hat trick in the third quarter alone. That's where he did most of his damage. And then another goal in the fourth quarter. I believe he did get going in the second. And obviously we've got the better part, just a little under the better part of the second quarter remaining at 7:25.
Well, right on cue, Whitlow has it. Doesn't look to shoot. Good stingy defense again. Dom Zingo again, just an absolute pest with that long pole. Maybe that's why we're not calling Wyatt Whitlow's name much.
Yeah, we call that one the can opener, as Zingo knocked the ball out of the stick of Whitlow, but Whitlow picked it back up, and then Roanoke gets the shot, saved by Hadley. He's up to 7 already here.
Great response from Tyler Hadley in goal. Had a great start to the game. And Roanoke got the best of him. Obviously, there's 4 goals up on the board, and he's responded now, like you said, up to 7 goals and 7 saves. And anytime you got more stops than goals allowed, again, you're doing something right.
Jake Rust is on. He's a guy that we've been saying we'll see if Lynchburg can get him going, get him some chances. Doesn't have the ball right now. Good screen in the middle there that Riley Mitchell uses and then backs off. 6:30 left to play in the second quarter. Mitchell getting by, pump fakes a shot. Now he will finally offload. set a screen himself. Spin dodge there to get through. This is Jake Rust. Back to Riley Mitchell. Lost it briefly, but he'll recapture. 6:14 left to play in the first half. Just the one goal in this second quarter.
Look at the way Roanoke defending Jake Rust there. He burned them for career-high 6 goals last time they made the journey over to Schellenberger Field. Certainly they do not want that to happen again.
Yeah, that's one. You don't even need to watch the tape to remember that. Good turn from Voigt, and Voigt scores it. Individual effort from Grant Voigt, getting around the defender, and we are tied 4-4. It's Grant Voigt with the 4th goal for Lynchburg.
Grant Voigt, the unassisted goal there. He, goes to the wrap, goes to his strong shoulder, his shooting hand, takes a little contact, eats it, shakes it off, and then there you go, the goal. The persistence there leading to that unassisted score from number 2. It's a great look coming off that wrap, which very often, if you know what you're doing, you can set up some really quality opportunities for yourself.
Well, I like the little hesitation in there. The original curl around, then just a little hesitation, then you saw Grant Voigt drop that shoulder really low, got the center of gravity down really low, tight turn to get around the defender, and from there, it's pretty much easy pickings for Grant Voigt. Here's another Lynchburg possession. A little loose with it at midfield as Darminio wants to get off, and he will feed it over to Connor Moore.
And this is the second time we've seen the second line midfield from the Hornets. Connor Moore, Ian McCarthy, and Gabe Menchaca out there on offense. Maybe just giving the veterans a little bit of rest or throwing a different look at the Maroons right now. But this is a big game to be throwing out, freshman Menchaca and then a couple of, and the underclassmen Moore.
Dylan Wolf had it briefly. Yeah, we gotta revisit that, guys. There's Menchaca with it. Now right side, it'll go behind the net. Ian McCarthy was in the mix, part of that second line that Tim was just talking about. It is a tie ball game. There's a shot attempt kind of over the shoulder right from Menchaca. Free briefly, and Lynchburg picks it up. Weston Hammond. Weston Hammond's been doing nice work defensively for Roanoke all game long.
Yeah, I think sending in some of those substitutions on the offensive side, I think a lot of that's just a big confidence move from Coach Kudelka. It's pretty typical offensive rotation for this second quarter. Yeah, I mean, you get some of your starters, a lot of the rest, they will go pretty much the duration of the second half. Think about it kind of like an NBA game. A lot of your starters come out towards the end of that first quarter, early second quarter, and then, again, they play the majority of the back half. So Coach Kudelka confident in this lineup. And Connor Moore, Ian McCarthy both had some really quality moments throughout this season, Menchaca as well.
Great to have that depth. Great to have those options. Sean Kennedy with a good sprint in and then pass. Kennedy will have it back, looks into the crowded defense there for Lynchburg. Noah Goad, he'll run down goal line extended left, now behind the net. Roanoke will set up an offensive piece here. Tie ball game, 3:45 left to play in the half. Goad turns, tight angle shot there that I don't know that Hadley ever even had to save as it was deflected. Maroons holding on to the possession. Shot clock down to 50, so still really an eternity to work with for the Roanoke offense. Luca Docking made himself available but did not get the ball. Oh, good setup in front and a goal there, and it is Wyatt Whitlow. Whitlow had been quiet. He has made his presence felt, giving Roanoke the lead back, 5-4. Wyatt Whitlow, great cut to get to the right area here, guys. We're going to see it again. Behind the goal set up. Here comes Whitlow. Yeah, just catch, shoot, and all of a sudden he's on the board. Roanoke has the lead back.
Yeah, and that's just a direct byproduct of doing a great job moving without the ball, utilizing those cuts. I was watching the Warriors and the Lakers game 1 the other night. You hear it all the time with Steph Curry. He's one of the best in the business at moving without the ball. It's one of the announcers calling it one of the hardest jobs in all of sports to be the primary defender on him. And it's kind of translates to the lacrosse field as well. If you're able to move without the ball well, open up a lot of opportunities for yourself.
Ethan Caldwell found him there. Nice assist. Wyatt Whitlow giving Roanoke the lead back, 5-4. So we were tied briefly, not very long, 3:05 left to play in the half. Lynchburg ball working left to right in this second period. Double team over there on the far sideline in front of the student section, and it'll bring a timeout. We'll take the timeout as well. 2:57 now left to play in quarter two. 5-4, Roanoke leading Lynchburg by 1.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
Less stats.
All right, let's take a look at that goal from Whitlow again. Whitlow was being man-marked, and you kind of had two eyes on him there with Chip Quinn and Dom Zingo. That time he decided to just attack the double team right at the middle. He dives through, and he splits that double team and scores the goal for Roanoke. It's a good job by him. You know, he's been man-marked pretty much the entire game. They're not sliding off of him, so he's going to have to really get creative to free himself up when Lynchburg's not going to leave him alone all day.
It's goal 58 on the season for Whitlow, guys. He leads the ODAC in that category, so he's probably seen it all defensively, hasn't he, as far as the different coverages teams are going to throw at him?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're a player of that stature, you're going to get a little bit of everything, and every team is going to think that they have, you know, the magic sauce or whatever it is to be able to slow you down and stop you. Lynchburg didn't have great success with that in the first matchup, although they did get the win. Whitlow certainly got his, and he does get on the board here again in the second quarter, starting off his scoring run. And you know, we've gotten a little bit of Camerman, a little bit of Whitlow, as those two could potentially chase the all-time leading point scorers of any duo in Roanoke history. They enter today's game just 9 points away.
And the pedigree of a program like Roanoke College, lacrosse-wise, that's a pretty weighty thing to just even talk about, to even fathom that those two guys could be up there. Riley Mitchell, how about that? Tie the ball game up. Didn't take long. Individual effort, going through defenders and getting it by the goalie. Riley Mitchell, number 1 on the board. We're knotted at 5.
Mitchell's having a heck of a day early on. That kind of goes without saying. That's goal number 3, getting that shooting percentage up and really feasting. Tim, I'm going to throw it right to you and just get your extra input on it. But I tell you what, I think I knew he was going to score as soon as he started to make that motion from right to left. You could kind of just see it coming together.
Yeah, maybe a little sneaky veteran move there from Mitchell, as it seemed like with Lynchburg being a man down on that possession, the Hornets were going to be content to run out that final about 60 seconds, or final about 30 seconds there. He scored that with 12 seconds left in the man up for Roanoke, so maybe he caught Roanoke sleeping, figuring Lynchburg just wanted to hold it for the next 12 seconds.
Hat trick for Riley Mitchell, 3 goals on 5 shots, and yeah, like the craftiness there. It was an individual effort too, guys, so Lynchburg didn't have to really load up their offensive players, so I don't want to call it a free shot for Riley Mitchell, but if you miss, you feel like you're in pretty good shape defensively. Lynchburg leading, we're tied 5-5. Got ahead of myself there. It is Roanoke ball to try to take the lead back. Maroons led 4-2 going into this second quarter. We're tied at 5 now, under 2 to play in half number 1. Luke Camerman looked around, looked like he might have wanted to take a sniper long-range shot there, but instead more passing from Roanoke. Matthew Albertson, he'll take a crack, and then it's Wyatt Whitlow over to number 8, Quinn Evans. And it's Evans on the board for Roanoke. They do take the lead back, 6-5. Ball movement there from the Maroons. They got it to all their danger players, but in the end, it's Quinn Evans here, left wing. Bazooka shot that finds the target.
Jeremy Johnson stepped up in the absence of Dom Zingo in previous games. He's done a really good job, just a little late sliding over to Evans there. And the junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, has his 2nd goal of the game.
Not an easy one there either. I mean, watch the replay. Some of these guys can make a lot of these shots look pretty mundane, but that one kind of hard to work it in there in that very tight gap there, upper 90.
scramble for it off the face-off, turned into a wrestling match briefly, but Roanoke will control. Quinn Evans, second goal, Tim. He's the first guy for Roanoke to get a second one. It had been 5 goals from 5 different players, so spreading the wealth for the Maroons. I would argue it makes it really tough for Lynchburg to stop as well when you can't key on one particular guy. Multiple scoring options for Roanoke, and they've all been in play today.
That kind of started in the Randolph-Macon game as well, as we are going to get a timeout here. But in that quarterfinal matchup for Roanoke, 8 different Maroons scoring in that one. So keeping the ball rolling here on to Shelley tonight.
Well, let's stay here. We've got halftime coming up in just a bit. But, I mean, what else is noteworthy in this one, guys? The sun is setting, Tim. We're definitely in that middle phase of the game now. I don't know that you can pinpoint anything where either team has a severe advantage. I know Lynchburg's been better on the face-offs. The numbers back that up. But have they really made the most of them? You could argue that point.
Yeah, a lot of quick turnovers right after that. You've also seen that Tyler Hadley's had to get involved in the clear game with the way that Roanoke is riding. You bring Hadley up the field, and you give yourself a man-up advantage per se on the clear. However, another thing I'd like to point out is only 54% of the goals from Roanoke this season have been assisted. That's the lowest of any of the top 6 teams. When they played against Lynchburg a couple weeks ago, 72% were assisted. So we're seeing that again here. Roanoke is fine with changing their individual performance games. A lot of guys taking it themselves, and they're being unselfish in order to try and take down this Lynchburg team for the first time this season.
Yeah, and this is the Lynchburg team that it's well documented. We all know they've had a pretty easy go of it their last 3 games. Haven't gotten a whole lot of resistance, even though that Hampton-Sydney game, very surprising, but outscoring 62-9 their last 3 contests. Today, very different story. And just before we get action back underway here, just want to throw out for Roanoke, although they have put together some very nice comebacks in the second half, they have been perfect. Every score for Roanoke this season is held at the half. They currently lead 6-5. They are 11-0 on the year when leading at the break.
Great stat right there. Some stats are overrated or misleading, but I think that's a great one there, Sam. I'm glad you threw that out. The other interesting one to me, Tim, was that unassisted goal stat. I mean, I think first glance you might say, oh, well, they're not sharing the ball, they're not moving the ball. But to me, when you have those unassisted goals a lot, I don't want to say other guys take plays off, but hey, so-and-so's going to make his run on this play, and I'm going to relax. He'll do the individual effort thing. I think that can be a pro and a con as far as those unassisted goals are concerned. Now, like most things in sports and life, you want to balance, and I think both these ball clubs have had that today offensively. Here's a little bit more of a slower-paced possession, in fact, from Roanoke. We've seen them try to score quick and run the fast break offense. Oh, flag will fly out there as there was a major collision on the screen. See how Roanoke takes advantage of this situation. Julian Cameraman had it briefly. Noah Goad. This is Julian Cameraman. Roanoke's sideline is just shouting the instructions. I'm not sure all the players got it. Now play will finally get stopped for that penalty.
Yeah, I think Coach Bill Pilot wanted at least one shot. We were late in the shot clock there for the Maroons, and if they held it and turned it over on the shot clock per se, they're going to get it back with a delayed penalty. Pilot would have preferred at least one look at goal, as Nestor's going to take a knee in the box, and this is something we've seen just only recently, and Lynchburg scored while they were a man down. How do they respond now being man down leading into the second half?
Looks almost certain now that Roanoke is at least going to go to the half with with the lead. Question is, will it be 1 or 2?
Yeah, they're not even going to get the shot off. It'll be just Luca Docking walking the dog back to his bench area, and that is how the half will end. 6-5, Roanoke on top at the halftime break. Kyle and Sam and Tim will all be right back. Stick around. We've got more ODAC semifinal lacrosse action coming up next.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
I wanted to be a physical therapist probably starting about halfway through college. I love the concept that exercise is medicine. You know, we're starting to discover that exercise really can remedy many of the things that we thought that only surgery or only drugs could remedy in the past. When the student comes here, it's because we believe in them, it's because we want them here, it's because we believe they'll be successful. The faculty here are devoted to their development, not only academically but also professionally. We're not so inundated with things that we don't have time to make students one of our highest priorities. We have your back. We're gonna help you through that. If you're willing to work, then we're willing to put the work into it and the effort to help you succeed.
I was really attracted to Lynchburg primarily because my dad went here. He is an alum, so I kind of had that close tie of being interested in this school. And the school had what I wanted to study. I knew I wanted to help people in the area of health and wellness, so the health promotion program was definitely a program that drew me in. And from day one, I've been in love with it, and I wouldn't have chosen any different. I have never had better professors or teachers in my life, and I think here at the University of Lynchburg, the professors definitely care about their students, especially in the health promotion department. These professors want you to be educated, want you to have the experience, and just want you to feel confident going into your career path following your collegiate education. You just feel like you're cared for here and that you matter, and that no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, and the people here really want to be here, and everyone has a purpose, and it's just a great environment to be in.
Be ready for anything, okay?
Come on, let's go together! Together, let's go! Come on! Let's go, keep going!
There is the best flip. Straight? Straight up, yep. Yeah. Cool. Good one. All right, guys, you see the meat grinder down here? Stay in the boat. Let's go.
camera. Oh, what you think of that? Woo!
My name is Alexis Fabula. I major in criminology and I double minor in psychology and criminal forensics. My favorite part about Lynchburg is the friends that I've come to have. It's helped me come out of my shell more, and it's helped me become the person I am and the student I am. I really enjoyed how small the campus was, and I also really enjoy how small the class sizes are. It made me feel like I was going to be more engaged than I would at a bigger campus. If someone was on the fence of coming to the University of Lynchburg, I would definitely love to sit down and have a conversation with them because I'm forever grateful that I made this choice. It's definitely something that a student wouldn't regret. Out of my 4 years here, I've not had one bad experience. I've had a great 4 years, and I'm going to be very sad to go.
Halftime here at Schellenberger Field in Lynchburg. We'll get a second look at some star power kind of plays on May the 4th here. I don't think we've seen anything from a galaxy far, far away, guys, but it's been a very good first half of lacrosse. 6-5, Roanoke leads. We can run down all the stats you want. I think a few stand out more than others, but the bottom line is it's anybody's ball game as we move into quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, it was the attack of the Maroons here in the first half. We'll see if Lynchburg can strike back in the second half as they – this is a low-scoring game. It's kind of the same way it shook out in that perspective by the low-scoring total last time these two teams met. We're excited, just like Riley Mitchell is, to see the second half of action coming up here on LHSN.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
Well, we had a little bit of physicality there in that first half. This is a rivalry game after all. There's a big shot there from earlier. And, Michael Krause leveled one of the biggest ones we saw in that first half, but that kind of kicked off that Roanoke scoring run. Sometimes when your guy levels the hit, it fires up your bench, and certainly the Lynchburg sideline did get fired up on that one. I think it might have fired up Roanoke even more, and they seem to almost be thriving off some of the pressure being applied here from Lynchburg.
It sounds cliche, but you hear it so much. You got to match their energy, match their physicality, those sorts of things. I think Roanoke has done that. They lead 6-5. You mentioned somewhat low scoring. First game, Lynchburg won that 14-11. It was 7-3 at halftime, so we've had one more goal in that first game, but it's shaken out tempo-wise and pace-wise, Sam, very similar. And this will be a man-up advantage to begin quarter 3 for Roanoke because of that penalty at the end of the first half.
Yeah, obviously the key difference here is Lynchburg trailing. They were up 7-3 at the half last time. This has been a great game for us to watch here, certainly for the guys down on the field to play. It's been a lot of fun so far. One thing to watch here, Lynchburg has not had a man-up opportunity yet this game. They went 3 of 5 on the man-up, and they're one of the best teams in the country in those opportunities on the season.
Whitlow had it briefly. Now it's Luke Kammerman. Those two guys, two of the big stars for Roanoke, and they've definitely been a factor. Roanoke has used 5 different goal scorers to score 6, and Lynchburg has had 3 goal scorers. Riley Mitchell's got a hat trick for the Hornets.
Tell you what, Noah Goad got all of that last one, didn't he, Kyle?
Noah Goad can really crank it. There's a low shot by Luke Kammerman. Found an angle, but goalkeeper Tyler Hadley saw it and took it away. Hadley in the first half, 9 saves, save percentage right at 60% now when you factor that one in there.
Might be looking for a goal here.
Lynchburg scored. Oh, my, look out. Tyler Hadley, wall to wall, net to net. Goalie goal for Hadley. He has not done that this season. He's had a couple shot attempts, including one in the last game against Roanoke. Tyler Hadley, nobody stepped in front. He said, sure, I'll walk right in the front door and crank one there. Double team came too late. He took a hit at the end of it. Hadley, a save and a goal. It's another man-down goal for Lynchburg, guys, and it ties the game at 6 apiece. That one's got everything you want right there.
That was just fantastic, wire to wire, just like Tyler Hadley went coast to coast. Even eats up the shot there at the end, although Hadley, pretty big guy. Can't imagine it feels great to deliver a shot on him. Now we're going to get, looks like, yeah, got a Roanoke player taking a knee on that last decision. Looks like it is going to be number 24, John Diaz. So even better situation now for Lynchburg, who's going to go a man up. And they knot things up here at 6. What better way to do that? A goalie goal. Don't see that every day.
Roanoke coaching staff trying to figure it out and voicing some displeasure there. I think the Lynchburg fans enjoyed that. But Tyler Hadley letting it rip. First goal of the season. And it comes in a very big moment. We are now tied 6-all, 3:58 left to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, and this is a main big momentum shift for Lynchburg because this penalty is unreleasable. The hit to the head, if Lynchburg scores in this possession, regardless of how much time's left in the penalty, they're going to get to keep the man up. And last time, that's where Lynchburg really put the game away against Roanoke. Jake Rust had 2 man-up goals on an unreleasable penalty as he made his way to 6 goals on the game. So this could be a real big inflection point, even though it's early in the second half.
Lynchburg 2 man-down goals on the season. They got 2 already in the game today.
Great teams find a way to win, especially in these big moments. ODAC semifinal here. Lynchburg has tied the game at 6, looking to take their first lead since 1-0. Hornets looking around. Riley Mitchell already has 3. A 4th would be big. He'll take it to center. Good cradling there. Flips it over right side. Lynchburg working it around. Patient possession with the man-up advantage. Mitchell, he'll let it rip. Oh, boy. Nice save. Partial deflection there. Lynchburg will restart things, although it's back to full strength for Roanoke. 23 seconds left in the shot clock. Riley Mitchell thought about another one. Instead, gets it to the middle to Jake Rust. Jake Rust will get by a defender and shoot overhand. That got caromed out of play. 12 seconds left in the clock. 12 seconds left in the shot clock. 12:46 left to play in the third quarter. Tie ball game, 6-6. Here comes the restart from Lynchburg behind the net. Rust directing traffic without the ball. Now it's Riley Hastings. Rust lost the pass. Field hockey style swat back over the line, but it'll be Roanoke ball. And the Maroons will try to snatch the lead back.
I'll tell you what, really crisp passing for the most part on that possession. The one, I don't want to say lazy pass, but the one misfire unfortunately comes right there at the end of the shot clock where Lynchburg really can't do anything to rectify it. So prior to that point, though, some great ball movement from Lynchburg.
Luke Kammerman leans in, got swatted down, hadn't seen the flag yet. Yeah, it does come flying. Multiple pieces of laundry out of the pockets now from our officials, as Luke Kammerman was making an attack and really just got driven into the turf. 12:09 left to play in the third. 6-6 ball game. Yeah, back to Lynchburg's passing. It was sharp. I think you got to tip your cap to Roanoke. Solid defending there. Long shot clock they had to defend as well. So the Maroons probably feel good about that defensive sequence.
So a game that was really clean in the first half, despite some pretty big hits. Both teams were playing between the lines. Now we've already seen 2 penalties, not to mention the one that we inherited coming into the second half. So the special teams is going to make a big difference, it seems like, in the second half.
57th all-time meeting. And Tim, like you mentioned, pair of teams that are two of the best historically in the conference. Obviously, they both want to win this one in a big way.
Merendon in the box for Lynchburg on the penalty. And we'll see how the Hornets can kill this one off. 6-6 ball game. Roanoke 0 for 2 in man-up advantages. 0 for 3, actually, I believe, now. Going back to that one to begin this third quarter. Behind the net, now they get it over to Julian Kammerman. Kammerman gets it back. It's his brother Luke. Look to wind one up. Instead passes off to Docking. Good save again. Tyler Hadley. He's been outstanding all season. Why wouldn't he rise to the occasion here in this big ODAC semifinal game?
It's kind of like a pitcher hitting a home run and then going out on the bump afterward, just dealing strikes. The Hadley goes out there, gets a goal, and now you wouldn't be surprised if he's just locked in between the pipes now.
Great analogy. Now, great analogy. It can't make you lose any confidence as a goalie, that's for sure. Roanoke defending the left side cage here from our perspective. Lynchburg moving right to left. The crowd has built over there on that far sideline. Fans have been great all season long for Lynchburg. They've been treated to some great games. This one is right up there in the mix. Grant Voigt, long run. Now he'll take it behind the net. Lynchburg will set up an offense from there. Voigt looking around. Stutter step dodge, trying to get around the defender. One-hand cradle. Now it's Jake Rust. We've been looking for Rust to activate and really do something big. Might be the time right here. Turns on his right. Rust sneaking through, falling down and scoring. Jake Rust right on cue. Oh, no, they've wiped it off. They have wiped it off. No goal there. No goal there. Lynchburg was celebrating. We were certainly thinking it was a goal. Referees wave it off, and you could see the Hornets as a team scramble to get back in position and stop a fast break. Pretty good hustle and awareness by Lynchburg as a team, really, to recognize and get in shape again.
Yeah, probably the only reason why Roanoke didn't get out on the break there is because they had to alert the ref, like, hey, he was in the crease.
Right.
So if the refs were on top of that one from the get-go, Roanoke might have had themselves a really good chance going the other way.
Good call. Maybe some futures in the legal field there for Roanoke pleading their case there. But, yeah, no, they got it right. Good call there. 10 minutes left to play. Tie ball game. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game. But right now it's Roanoke trying to take the advantage again. Luke Kammerman fakes the shot, now passes, crowded area. They still got it, and they score it. Wow. That was Matthew Albertson. He's been out on the wings pretty much all day, fellas, but got in the middle there after a redirect, a fumbled kind of a pass. Albertson collects, turns, and scores, and the lead is back to the Maroons, 7-6.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, and Henry Merendon just about causes the turnover there for Lynchburg. He was in great position. He was kind of tracking it with his stick, makes a play on it, just doesn't come up with the ball at the end of the day, and then bounces the wrong way and bounces its way on into the goal off the shot. So Roanoke the beneficiaries there, but Lynchburg played that one pretty well.
Big one by Michael Kraus. Again, a muscular face-off win from Kraus. And Chris Darminio now on the offensive side with the long stick. He'll stay down here, might be retreating back to the sideline now as Lynchburg will get the possession set up. Riley Mitchell over to Jake Rust. Thought he had a goal there a few moments ago, but denied because he was in the crease. Here's Grant Voigt. He'll sprint, get by a defender, looks in, tried to shoot, got partially blocked.
Yeah, he took a shot there, Kyle. Certainly now pleading his case on the other side. He's not going to warrant the call there, but definitely some contact.
7-6 Roanoke lead. Maroons have 6 different goal scorers. They have really spread it around. Riley Mitchell has 3 for Lynchburg. Grant Voigt 1. Dylan Wolf 1. That seemed like a long time ago. We thought Jake Rust had 1. And don't forget about the goalie goal as well from Tyler Hadley. That was a big one. Lynchburg trying to tie again. They're down 1 right now. .35 left in the shot clock. Good, solid defending right there. That is tough stuff on that back line by number 33, Stephen Conte. Really doing a number here. Drive from Riley Mitchell. Took it over the top of the defender on the swim move dodge, but the shot was off the mark.
Lynchburg's motion offense has been on full display here. It's been fun to watch. 3 or 4 different players have taken it from the X so far for Lynchburg.
Mitchell catches, thought about winding it up, does shoot from the low angle instead. They want a new shot clock. Lynchburg will get 60 back on the board. And another chance to get it going here offensively. Riley Hastings with the ball briefly. Now he'll get it back. Jake Rust, high left slot. He'll turn side wind one. That was wide right and out of play. And this will be Roanoke ball now. The 1-goal lead, 8 minutes left to play in the third.
Now starting to see some of the frustration get to Jake Rust, slapping his thigh with the butt end of his stick there as he jogged off. Saw that with Dylan Wolf in the Stevenson game earlier this season when he came off a big game, returned home for that Stevenson contest. Kind of did a great job of locking him down. Similar thing going on here with Rust, who of course scored 6 just about 3 weeks ago, last time these two faced off.
And in that contest, Rust made half of his shots. He was 6 for 12. And maybe even a bigger note, 11 of those 12 shots were on goal. So Jake Rust, shoot or shoot, I wouldn't expect to see him miss the frame much more.
Ran through a screen and tossed off to Riley Mitchell. Now it's Jake Rust again. Let's see if he does try to uncork one. Looks like he's going to take it all the way behind the net. Sharp pass, partially deflected. Lynchburg will hang on. Mitchell got to that. Now they lose it. Battle in the midfield. Roanoke ball. 7:12 left to play. Darminio's going to try to sprint back out there and get in the fight. Cameraman had to go after the pass. Great save by Hadley. He was basically on an island. The pass wasn't great for Cameraman, but he was able to adjust and get a point-blank range shot off. But Hadley there for the stop.
Yeah, point blank in really close. You know, most of the time that's a pretty good look. A little surprised Cameraman didn't wait for somebody to materialize on that backside of Hadley because obviously number 0 there in goal. He's been great all day, and he knew exactly where that one was coming from. Weren't many options for Cameraman to go with it, but low and just try to rip it in there.
Yeah, great stuff. Tyler Hadley now 11 saves on 24 shots. He's over 61% on the percentage. 6:25 left to play in the third period. 7-6, and it feels closer than that if that's even possible. But Roanoke leads at the moment. Lynchburg working it around offensively. Some of those second unit guys in there again. Connor Moore. Hesitate to even call them second unit guys because they're pretty good on their own, Tim. As you mentioned, they've gotten so much work this season. There's a good running effort that will get taken away. And Roanoke, maybe some fast break offense. Haven't seen this much from the Maroons lately. Saw a little bit of fast break stuff in the first half. It's been more composed, set up offense, and they will slow things down. You see the signal from the sideline there from some of their coaching staff. Still directing traffic over there. They do not have this set up the way they want it. 5:39 left to play in the third. It's Roanoke ball.
And, of course, the talent, in the second, third line for Lynchburg's midfielders, but maybe another reason is these guys are doing hard wind sprints on and off the field, both the first line and the second line, having to get back with Roanoke's quick clearing and the way that they get from one side of the field to the other with, such ferocity. So you got to give Riley Mitchell and Jake Rust a breather every once in a while because they're just doing wind sprints all game right now.
It's funny as you say that. I'm just watching Connor Moore make his way back to the sideline, just kind of bent over there. You can just see him breathing heavily. So, yeah, it's a great point.
Roanoke possession behind the net. Lynchburg in good spots defensively at the moment. Big crowd there in front of the goal. Roanoke will get it behind again. Whitlow looking around. Wyatt Whitlow, leading goal scorer in the conference. He's got 1 today, but not a huge factor thus far as this shot will skip out.
Yeah, and that was a settle shot from Roanoke. It looks like they are going to be awarded here with 1 second. Obviously, that's really no time to set anything up with. I mean, yeah, you have the 1-goal lead, but it's late in the shot clock. Good job to Lynchburg defense, but that's certainly not a shot you're going to aim for if you're Roanoke.
4:35 left to play in the third quarter. Interesting. Roanoke took a lot of time just to get the possession set up, and then the clock was down so low. You combine that with the good Lynchburg defending that you just mentioned, Sam, and it ends up being the violation. Hornets will look to tie it up. Riley Mitchell now looking around. Here's a slow setup from Lynchburg. No real rush as Grant Voigt will come on and get the ball from Mitchell.
We've seen Voigt take it himself before. As he starts getting downhill, he's hard to stop.
Turn and fire there off the target. Lynchburg's going to keep it. 40 seconds left on the shot clock. That was Dylan Wolf. Good job to get free and let it rip there, boys. He's got 1 goal so far today. Wolf again. Now he's got 2. A second one there from Dylan Wolf. Really did nicely to get open. Good pass to find him. Dylan Wolf makes it count. We're tied up. 7-7 ball game. 3:53 left to play in the third.
Yeah, Wolf, it's like Tim said earlier, shooters shoot. Dylan Wolf certainly another one of those shooters. Try again, eventually does come up with goal number 2 there. And I was just about to say, guys, it's starting to feel like an eternity without a score on either side, even though both teams getting really great offensive possessions. The defense has just been better, but Dylan Wolf finally breaks the ice there and ties us back up.
A big difference there compared, either end of the field. Roanoke got down, they took all 80 seconds on that possession, but they were so far away from the net. All their passes were coming far on the perimeter. Lynchburg made sure to, even if they're going to take their time on offense, they're going to be behind the net. They're going to be in close range so that when they're ready to hit the gas pedal, they're right in close. And you have guys making cuts from the back door like Wolf, who can score from close range.
Excellent feed from Jake Rust, too. We've been talking about how we know he wants a goal. He's itching to score, so the unselfishness, the ability to find the teammate, Dylan Wolf cutting there, and a great on-target pass as well to set him up. We're tied up at 7. Luke Cameraman. Oh, he wants in. He'll turn. Oh, and he got it. Crafty shot there from Luke Cameraman, the low side winder right about thigh height. Got it by the goalie. Interesting where he put that one in net, too, there, guys. It wasn't the upper 90 corner. It wasn't rolling. It kind of was the same height he shot it from here. We're going to get another good look. Luke Cameraman, nice move to get free. He's in front. He can take either side, and he beats Tyler Hadley for goal number 8 on the day.
The really impressive thing about Luke Cameraman, he's left-handed, and so you may think he's going to defer to that left side. He does a really great job of hiding which side he's going to be shooting from. He had that ball on the right side of his body the whole time, and he, at the last second, dekes to the left and takes that. They call it the left-handed howitzer from Cameraman, as he just has so much fire on that shot. So when you go low, there's not a lot of time to get down there and save it. He shoots it so fast.
Yeah, and that's an extra special one for Cameraman, too. That ties him for the all-time season record for points in a year. That's number 91. So you could very well see him break that tonight. Roanoke would love to see it. Lynchburg, maybe not so much.
Cameraman's second goal of the game. He's got the 1 assist in there as well. Definitely an impact player in every sense of the word. His size, too, that gives him such a great advantage as well. He just looks bigger. How about howitzers? That was an absolute missile artillery shot that did not find the home, but Lynchburg will still keep the possession. 8-7. Roanoke by 1. Feels like Roanoke's been up 1 the entire game. That's not actually accurate. The Maroons were up 4-2 after 1 quarter of play, but it's been the slimmest of margins for most of the contest. So we get into the later stages of things. 2:22 left to play in the third. Good setup there and fake. What a shot. It is Riley Mitchell. Got another one. Let the defender go by. A little head fake there. And then a missile off his stick.
Mitchell, what a fantastic response from that tough outing against Hampton-Sydney. We mention all the time the way he can just deal out those nukes, those big old scores. He can rip them in there. But again, his control, both of his body and the stick skills, phenomenal. And he put all those things together. Really big goal there. Great response from Lynchburg, tied up yet again, now at 8.
4 goals on 9 shots for Riley Mitchell. Yeah, that was the overhand 4-seam fastball. High velocity right there. Roanoke looking to answer quickly, trying to snatch that momentum back. Great setup in front, and they got it. What a delivery there. It was Carson Peck on the assist, and Peck has been in there taking some of the faceoffs along with Brooks Cliver, but Peck, full sprint behind the net, great pass. Another look at it, bang. Goal by number 33, Stephen Conti. Midfielder goal with an assist from the face-off guy. That's about as good as it gets for Roanoke. They take the lead right back, too, 9-8. This is back and forth right here, fellas.
This is a big face-off here for Kraus and for Peck, who just got the assist. Someone's trying to hold the momentum. This is where you do it in the face-off game.
Kraus got the better of that one.
Yeah, one thing you got to say about Kraus, all these Lynchburg guys work extremely hard. Kraus may be one of the hardest working here. He's going to have to earn holding on to that ball. Lost track of it momentarily, scooped up by Hastings. Kraus, not uncommon, especially the weekend games, to see him out here. I mean, I'm talking 8-9 hours before the first face-off, just getting in reps all by himself.
Yeah, the Lynchburg social media account had the great shot of him out in the rain that one game early in the morning working on the face-offs by himself. Those face-off guys, they're a different breed too. I know everybody says built different. That phrase is used a lot now, fellas. Those face-off guys really are built different. They're so much fun to watch. And they could do a little bit of other things as well. I mean, they probably don't get credit for being true lacrosse players enough, because we just saw that from Connor Peck, and then we see it all season long from Kraus as well.
Going down the depth chart a little bit, how about Zach Phillips for Lynchburg, who, started the year as a goalie, but, looking at the depth charts in front of him, he realized there's a couple less guys in the face-off room, and he's been working on that, and he's been doing a good job at the X this season for Lynchburg when he gets a chance. And it's really cool, too, that, he's looking to help the team in any way he can, and he decides to change positions midway through the year.
Roanoke's got the 1-goal lead. They appear to be content just to run this third quarter out, getting the stop sign from the bench there. Got enough time on the shot clock to do that. And it will set up what is going to be a fourth quarter to remember between these two rivals. It's ODAC semifinal play. Winner gets Washington and Lee, going for a conference title on Saturday. But it's going to be 15 minutes of pure fun just to get there. And you're going to see some blood, sweat, and tears, I think, as well. I said Roanoke had the stop sign up. Maybe scratch that. They just wanted to run the clock down. There's a shot from the left side. Still 3.8 left to play in the quarter. See if Roanoke can get another one off. Spin move here. Good defending at the end there. Nice job by Lynchburg to understand the situation and what Roanoke wanted to do. So we have played 3 complete. The Maroons lead 9-8 over Lynchburg. Do not miss the conclusion of this one. Coming up next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
The Roanoke Maroons leading 9-8. Kyle Haney with Sam Graham and Tim LaDuca. Gosh, we needed 3 people to break this one down, guys. This has been one of the all-timers right here. We've been saying that a lot this season at Schellenberger. This will go down, I think, as a season with so many memorable moments. Lynchburg not always on the side they want to be, but we've seen a lot of games come down to this fourth quarter, and this one no different, Sam.
Yeah, Lynchburg, they come in today. Back-to-back ODAC champs, 8 straight appearances in the big one. Roanoke trying to get in the way of that here today. They have had the upper hand pretty much throughout.
Lynchburg with those 2 overtime losses to Salisbury and to CNU. They did get a win on the road against Washington and Lee. Riley Mitchell was the hero in that one, and he gets the can opener from none other than Wyatt Whitlow, doing it on both ends. Another thing of note, Lynchburg, as you said, Sam, hasn't played in a close game in the last 3 contests. Maybe a little bit of an advantage for Roanoke being a little more locked in, as they had the narrow 12-10 victory over Randolph-Macon a couple days ago.
Whitlow just de-twigging Riley Mitchell. That really got the Roanoke bench involved. And, guys, we've been commenting all day. The Maroons are really bringing the fight as far as the energy and the initiative and those things. Not that Lynchburg hasn't treated it like it's been the library over there on their sideline, but I think we've all agreed that Roanoke has had a lot of energy, and they have really used that to their advantage.
Yeah, we were just talking at the break. That last Dylan Wolf goal, you could really see him trying to get everybody going. A big old celebration on the near side. And, yeah, there was applause, not necessarily what you would expect in an equalizing goal late in the 3rd quarter of a game that's going to send somebody to an ODAC championship. Contrast that to that 9th goal on the Roanoke side. We had chest bumps, fist pumps, high fives, you name it, going on just outside our press box to the right side, our, quote-unquote visitor area. The Roanoke fans loving it. And, yeah, really from the time this team jogged out on the field, just a ton of energy.
Yeah, they're bench players, but great job by you mentioning their fans as well. They've had a lot making the trip. We know we have a lot of folks watching. It has been worthwhile watching for sure. We hope you've enjoyed it. 9-8 ball game, as Roanoke didn't really get a shot off in that possession. Darminio will sprint over the midfield stripe and then look to toss it off to Grant Voigt here. Let's see how Lynchburg responds. They've had a response really at every turn. Fell down 3-1, fell down 4-2. I think that's been the biggest Roanoke advantage. Have the Maroons ever been up 3 in this one, guys?
I think that your math checks out there. And I think that's a testament to Lynchburg's, mental toughness, being able to always have an answer back. But we've just had a good old-fashioned boxing match. Punches flying left and right. It's as Dom Zingo said, you're getting everyone's best punch. There's been multiple of them from Roanoke so far.
He was so right about that. Sidewinder shot there, deflected. That was Riley Mitchell looking for another, but stopped. And the Maroons on the fast break offense here. Foot on the gas. Let's see, Roanoke keeps it on there. Overhand bouncer, actually bounced over the goal from one of the long poles there from Roanoke. We talked about Lynchburg's defense, and they deserve a lot of credit. Roanoke's defense, I think, has been underrated by us slightly in this one, guys. They've been really solid.
Yeah, certainly, and you got to give good looks to your freshman goaltender. You got to help make sure that he's not getting berated, as Fior from Chicago, Illinois has played really well. He's made 8 saves in this one, so his heart's probably going after getting his 2nd start in the ODAC tournament.
Yeah, and making a couple of saves against his Chicago fellow native in Spencer Vandenberg, who we've really not even called the name much of here in the second half.
Wow, no, that's a great point. Vandenberg was in the mix quite a bit in the first quarter specifically, but you're right. Not a whole lot going on lately. Noah Goad, we've called this name a lot. He'll let it rip, saved by Hadley. Hadley, long outlet. Nice one there. Let's see how fruitful that pass ends up being. Oh, and it is. It leads to a goal. What a pitch out there from Tyler Hadley to get the break started. And it's Luke Meadows? Luke Meadows with the goal. Big-time stuff there from Lynchburg. We got to go to the stat sheet here. And how many on the season for Luke Meadows is that, fellas?
Do believe he scored in that Hampton-Sydney game, if I'm correct. But, yeah, it hasn't been much. The Lynchburg native out of Virginia Episcopal School right down the road. Talk about a time for a big goal. And that did get the sideline. That got the fans going a little bit. But now can you a lot of these scores have been answered immediately by Roanoke scores on the next possession. I think you can really get your fans involved if this Lynchburg defense, if they have to play on defense, which they will, can come up with a stop.
Yeah, it's one thing to take that momentum back. It's another thing to build on it and grow it and start using it to your advantage there. Luke Meadows, freshman defender, and you were right. He had 1 goal coming in on the season. Now he's got 2. How about the outlet from Hadley? First, just to find him, the vision, and then the skill to execute the pass on the run there. Meadows never stopped running, and he gets goal number 2 on the season. We're tied 9-9.
Roanoke's done a really good job in the riding game, so Lynchburg taking a page out of the Maroons' book. just get it and go, even if it is, Meadows the one getting across midfield. He's gonna fire a shot and get the goal there. Lynchburg taking a page out of Roanoke's book, and it works in their favor.
That was awesome. Lynchburg needed it too. 9-9 ball game. Roanoke ball. Oh, good feed there to Whitlow, and that one got knocked away. Scramble for it. Whitlow has it back. On the move, always dangerous. He'll pass, wind up and fire from Sean Kennedy is out of bounds.
And there you see that communication from Lynchburg. Whitlow kind of coming out of that fray. Everything was a little discombobulated on the Lynchburg defensive side of things. But good job on the switch, communicating there. Dom Zingo and Chip Quinn. Dom Zingo going over on the slide to pick up Whitlow, knowing that Quinn might not be able to get the angle to stop him. And ultimately they do get the stop.
Yeah, Zingo, Quinn, obviously Chris Darminio, they have all been solid defensively today against this Roanoke team that can fill up the cage with the best of them, not just in the ODAC, but in the nation. And we've got a timeout. Lynchburg wants to talk it over. We'll step aside for a brief moment. Tie ball game, 9 apiece. 10:04 left to play in the fourth on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Lynchburg is all about you, your ideas, and your goals. We've got one professor for every 10 students, so you can get all the support you need. In the classroom, in the lab, or in nature. You'll learn by putting yourself out there, and we're right there with you.
Lynchburg takes the timeout. Coach Steve Kadelka talking things over with his ball club. What do you think, Sam and Tim? What do you think Coach K's got in mind over there on his sideline with just over 10 left to play in regulation, we might add?
Yeah, Kadelka's go-to quote before the game is, this is the best thing you get to do all day, right here. Flying around the field, playing lacrosse for Lynchburg. You got 10 minutes left to make a big difference. And, leave an impression not only on your teammates, on your classmates here, but this Lynchburg program going to do something historic and try to, play for that third ODAC trophy in a row. Kadelka doesn't shy away from letting these kids know the gravity of the situation, and I think that that's what they're playing for right now.
Yeah, and doing it on their home field, no less, would be. Of course, we will have a game here regardless, top seed, host, just like Lynchburg had to play against Hampton-Sydney at Washington and Lee a year ago. But, yeah, again, I spoke to Tyler Hadley after the Hampton-Sydney game, and he was saying this is kind of the moments that they dream of ever since first putting on the jersey back freshman year for him, which was in 2019.
Well, Tyler Hadley's had a dream kind of a game offensively, a goal, and then that most recent tire equalizer for Lynchburg. He started it with a really fantastic outlet pass. He's going to probably have to face a shot at some point from Roanoke, although the shot clock down to 5 now. Cameraman. Long pass, and that was just we know the shot clock is ending, kind of wave the white flag right there. Good team defense from Lynchburg. I said Hadley would have to face a shot, and in the end he did not have to on that possession.
Yeah, that's something that Roanoke may look back and kick themselves about. That's the third or fourth time now we've had to see Roanoke just throw away a possession after 80 seconds with the ball. It's not something we've seen Lynchburg do today. Maybe seen a couple of questionable shots from the Hornets, but they've never wasted a possession.
8:45 left to play as Rust will use the left shoulder to create some space. Now he'll offload. Think it's Riley Mitchell again, looking around. No, that's not Riley Mitchell. That's Riley Hastings that time. Back to Jake Rust. Rust will look to turn back to the goal for a moment. Now runs around behind, wrap around maybe. Nope, taken away. Good team defending from Roanoke. Oh, jump shot there over the shoulder from Riley Mitchell. Got poked away, and here goes Roanoke. Fast break offense in effect again for the Maroons. They do slow things down just a little bit. Changes coming from both teams with 8:05 left to play in the fourth quarter.
And there's another example of it. You got a guy who leads the team with 4 goals tonight, and he is sprinting back on defense and just praying to God that William Thompson will finally, turn and come off the field because he's matching feet with him on the clear. Look to see that second line midfield getting a lot more big minutes as we approach the end of the game here.
Luke Cameraman over on that far right wing. Now this is Luca Docking on the left side. Matthew Albertson, who's had a goal for Roanoke. They've really spread the wealth around. Here comes Docking with the move. Got inside. Couldn't get the shot off. See if Roanoke can get it to Whitlow here at some point. He's been pretty quiet, but always a danger man, Wyatt Whitlow. Leading goal scorer in the conference. Oh, he had it there and tried the behind-the-back goal. Flashy stuff, and probably was the right play, guys. I mean, sometimes that shot's a little overused, but really there it was probably pretty smart to go to it. Roanoke will keep control. Down to a dozen ticks left in the shot clock. Oh, crafty little wraparound around the body attempt there from Matthew Albertson, and here goes Lynchburg. Full sprint, far sideline in front of the crowd. They were into it. Under 7 to play in a tie ball game, 9-9.
Credit to, I believe it was Chip Quinn, could have the numbers wrong on that scooped up that ground ball as Lynchburg and Vandenberg will finally get on the board.
To the doorstep there, and don't knock, just kick it in. Lynchburg with a lead, 10-9. What a setup. Roanoke defensive structure was compromised really the entire possession there. Riley Hastings got it started, and what a pass to the middle there, right on target for Spencer Vandenberg.
Yeah, kick in the door, but do it gently, Vandenberg, with those silky mitts. He gets that ball in and out of his stick so quick. That's finally the game that we wanted to see from Vandenberg and from Hastings, who we haven't seen made too much of a difference in the box score yet today. He finally gets the assist, and he sets up Vandenberg for the quick, easy score the way they've been doing it all year.
Yeah, Vandenberg letting the game come to him in that situation. That's so big. That's kind of how he started off into this role. He's come into, he came in for Carter Bez. Carter Bez and Dylan Wolf injured for the better part of the year. Of course, Bez sadly will not return this season. That's what allowed Vandenberg to step up. Like we talked about, Schmidt out. You wonder if maybe he's pressing. Now here into the fourth quarter, he has gotten more comfortable into his game. And Tim, that's perfect observation, just letting it come to him.
Going to the right area there, and a great pass to get it to him as well from Hastings. Roanoke with a chance to answer, and they do, shredding the defense. Sean Kennedy. We are tied at 10. 6 minutes exactly to play. Sean Kennedy, 5'8" junior from Houston, Texas. Stutter step there, pop the clutch, get it back in gear, and shoot it by the goalie for the 10th goal of the game, number 10 on the board for Roanoke.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm sure each of you guys, remember back UConn's run with Kimba Walker, cardiac Kimba. And you might have some cardiac Hornets here this season. You just go down the schedule. You think about Salisbury, Christopher Newport, Roanoke the last time they visited Schellenberger, making that run in the second half to make that thing a contest. Washington and Lee on the road. They have had some absolute battles, and they're in the thick of another one right here.
8 goal scorers for Roanoke. 10 goals from 8 different players. See how Lynchburg answers. It seems like they have had a response every time. Not always immediately, but the Hornets have never been out of this one. They've kept within striking distance the entire time, and they're back again. Goal. Another ripper. I think it was Dylan Wolf again, fellas. Number 55. Hat trick for the Pasadena, Maryland native, Dylan Wolf, back in the mix and at the right time. Long ranger here. Why not let it fly?
Welcome back, Dylan Wolf, the encore. He gave us the appetizer in that last time out against Hampton-Sydney, picking up the 1 goal. How about 3 here today? And the muted applause there. Everybody except for Dylan Wolf, I don't think knew that shot even went in.
I still haven't really figured out where it went. He might have wedged that one in between the crossbar and the post. He just hit it so hard. Also, the ball may have just disintegrated.
Yeah.
He shot it so fast it burned up when it entered the atmosphere.
It was like the scene in The Natural where he hits the cover off the ball. Dylan Wolf, you can't even see it when he does it. Second team All-ODAC last year, missed March 18th through April 26th. So, yeah, Dylan Wolf getting back in the mix at exactly the right time. Lynchburg leads at the right time, 11-10. Just under 5 to play in regulation. It's going to be a fantastic finish. Ooh, there's a wide one there. Big power from Kennedy, but not the accuracy that Roanoke needed. They'll maintain the possession here. 45 ticks left on the shot clock.
Yeah,
Kennedy has it again. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, good recovery by Meadows. He gets burned there, but he's able to get a stick in on the shot attempt from Kennedy. That's the freshman not giving up on a play, which is really big as Roanoke takes a timeout here.
Let's step aside for a breather. We're going to need it with the way this finish is shaping up. Lynchburg by 1, 11-10 over Roanoke in ODAC semifinal lacrosse on LHSN.
Want to have some outdoor adventures while getting a degree at the same time? At the University of Lynchburg, we have an on-campus zip line and road course. Plus, we offer adventure trips that cost less than a cup of coffee. And did I mention our beautiful scenery? We're a university for students looking for something more than just books. Welcome to your new adventure experience.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
It's a full vibe up here in the press box at Shelley as usual, and the atmosphere on the field, my goodness, what a game to be a part of. You get perfect weather out there to enjoy. Some of those other close games this season, the weather's been, let's just say, miserable. This is a fantastic spring night out there. Fans have been treated to a good one, and we're not done yet, fellas. Lynchburg by 1 with 4:28 left to play in the fourth.
What do they say about the weather?
Tim, I believe they say it's always changing.
That's true, and it's been cold in Lynchburg recently. That warm weather coming soon, as there's still a little bit of light in the sky, even though we're well into 8 o'clock here on Shelley.
And I tell you what, Lynchburg's had it all this season, haven't they? I mean, blistering hot, which can't feel good in those pads and uniforms. Also, an all-out blizzard, and that road came at Tufts. You know, the northeast cold certainly playing a factor in that one. Now, finally, some great conditions here tonight.
Wyatt Whitlow all around the defense. He hasn't taken a lot of shots today. That one will get turned away. Lynchburg on the run with the 1-goal lead. Under 4 to play now in the fourth quarter. Wyatt Whitlow has scored once, 4 shots. He's been a diversion and a decoy a lot. Lynchburg's defense has paid careful attention to Mr. Whitlow. Other players have been the beneficiary. You just wonder if down the stretch it might be more of Whitlow and the Cameraman brothers for Roanoke. Let your 3 big dogs get their basket on the ball as much as possible here late in the game. But we'll see. 3.5 left to play in regulation. If you're Roanoke, you might not get a lot of possessions from here on out. Dylan Wolf was thinking about another one, already a hat trick. Instead, he'll phone a friend. That was Grant Voigt. Lynchburg swings it around the defense. Good rotation by the Maroons defensively. Wolf, he's feeling it, looking in. Low cradle, waist height, still has it, a chance to shoot. Blocked away there by some nice defense from Roanoke.
It was John Diaz who kind of got burned on the last goal from Wolf, but he made a good play there, reaching out with the long stick. You're working with about 6 feet of aluminum there, and it's not easy to corral that one away from your body, but a good job there.
Hot sprint there from Julian Cameraman. He was high speed, but it does not result in a goal. Lynchburg's defense so good. Out of net there as the Hornets turn it over, and Roanoke really with a great opportunity. Wow.
Yeah, a whole lot coming there. I mean, like he was shot out of a cannon came Julian Cameron. I'm just standing here waiting for somebody to cut him off. Chris Darminio's giving chase, but he's behind. Cameron's got some speed. Ends up being one-on-one with Hadley. And then how about Chip Quinn again, right place at the right time, saving what would have been a massive goal for Roanoke. That's a golden opportunity that's going to just sneak away.
Yeah, Chip Quinn turned into a goalkeeper there between the pipes. That was a wild sequence. Go back and revisit that one after the game, fans. Under 2 to play. Lynchburg with the 1-goal lead. Big possession here for both squads.
Goalies scoring goals, face-off guys getting assists. Now we got defensemen making saves. This is everything you could have wanted and more.
Good turn from Wolf. Unselfish there. You could almost sense he wanted to pull the trigger again and get the 4th, but passed up the opportunity there. Like that from Dylan Wolf. Riley Mitchell at the top. He'll deal the card, stutter step. Thought about a low shot, now passes right. Jake Rust going back to Mitchell. Nope, they skip him over to the left side. Good turn and fire there, and there's the goal that Lynchburg really wanted. Grant Voigt puts the Hornets up 2. Big time there. Grant Voigt catches left side, finds himself open for a ripper.
Could it be an insurance goal? I have to wait and see. Still 77 seconds in this one, but regardless, a massive goal there from Grant Voigt.
Yeah, and the playbook shrinks a lot when you get under 20 seconds on the shot clock. You got to get really creative to catch your defense off guard. Really good awareness, seeing the whole field by Dylan Wolf. Skip pass over to Voigt, and Voigt makes him pay.
Worth mentioning a good screen there by Spencer Vandenberg. He was available for a pass, but I think he ended up getting in the goalie's way just enough for Grant Voigt to get it. So we'll keep it right here on what may be the final timeout. 1:17 left to play in regulation, gentlemen. 12-10, Lynchburg by 2. Biggest lead of the day. Hard to believe. Lynchburg had the 1-goal lead. That seems like an eternity ago when we just started. But it's a 2-goal advantage now for Lynchburg, and it gets a little bit dicey for Roanoke, but the Maroons definitely with the firepower to erase this. They're going to have to be close to perfect, though.
First thing on the agenda for either side is winning that face-off, but once that happens, the game's still wide open. You know, you're going to line up just about the same amount of game clock as shot clock. Who can set up the offense and who can score quickly to put this game away? This isn't going to be a case of keep away for the Hornets. They're going to look to put this one up. And then it might be time for Whitlow to play some hero ball. He's the guy you're going to circle for Roanoke after this face-off.
Yeah, the face-off's huge. If Lynchburg wins it, certainly not over. There's still time, and it's been a physical game. But that goes a long way to kind of ensuring that victory in a 9th straight trip to the ODAC title game. Beauty of lacrosse, though, if Roanoke does win the face-off, they got plenty of time to set up a great offensive possession. Already got 10 goals on the day. Scoring hasn't been a problem. And you can get the ball right back. It's not like in basketball or football where the ball has to go back to your opponent. You can just stack those possessions one on top of the other. But we'll see what happens here.
Well, you gave me a little bit of your answer before I even asked the question, Sam. But if you're Coach Pilot for Roanoke, how early do you want to get a shot off? You have time, but you don't want to waste too much of it here. Battle for the face-off. Roanoke will hold that thought. Yeah, they might have possession. This is still, oh, what a battle here. Maroons have a chance. Whitlow walks it to the doorstep. Did it go in? Still no signal. Flags are out. No goal signal yet. Nope. Take that one off in the crease. What an exchange off the opening faceoff. It was pinball all over the carpet. Whitlow finally gets it in a great spot. Lynchburg's defense not back there. Officials are going to talk this one over just a bit.
I think I've deciphered it a little bit. Obviously, Whitlow pops up with it on the back end of the play. He's in the right spot. Tyler Hadley making no friends as he saves that one from point Matt LeBlanc range. And then Whitlow stepped into the crease after trying to pick up that ground ball. So that ball you saw hit the back of the net doesn't count. However, going to be a penalty coming up. I'd have to assume it's on Lynchburg.
Yeah, could we have a more dramatic finale to this one? I mean, right from the face-off, nobody being able to control it. All of a sudden, the ball just bounces into Whitlow's stick. Actually reminded me of a brief conversation that I had with assistant coach Josiah Martin earlier this season. I was out doing a run. Ball bounced over. I thought I was going to be able to grab it, bounced clear over my head. Coach Martin just calmly said, well, you know, those balls will bounce. And on that one, bounced right into the waiting stick of Whitlow, who just about made this one really interesting.
Man-up advantage coming for Roanoke. Tim, props to you for nailing all that because you got it. Your little mini recap there on the play that was not easy to describe was perfect. This game has not been easy to describe, but it has been fascinating and very exciting. So a great opportunity for Roanoke. Maroons need to make the most of this here. Got to score with this man-up advantage. Good ball movement so far from Roanoke. Sliding low shot that Hadley gets down and scoops. It was a really good setup for the Maroons, but Hadley with a top-shelf save.
Now all Lynchburg's got to do is just not shoot itself in the foot. They are going to have the turnover there. Slightly interesting decision there from Cole Nestor, just chucking that one down the field, but time not on the side of Roanoke.
Roanoke's really got to hustle now. This is Luca Docking, That one deflected out of play. Maroons will hold on to it. But now the clock running, they're going to get a timeout. We may actually get some time put back on the clock. What do you think, fellas? Keep it here again, as this one deserves our full attention. We could recap for the rest of this break right here and all night. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to be unpopular with any of our Lynchburg listeners right here with what I'm about to say. But I think everybody in the building, players, coaches, all of us remember – didn't take much time in that Christopher Newport game for the captains to put themselves right back in the game and steal one that Lynchburg almost assuredly thought they had. Roanoke's got just as much offensive firepower as Christopher Newport does. There's nothing stopping them from doing the same here. Still 18 seconds and they got the ball.
That's why I'm not a fan of the full court heave there from Lynchburg trying to get the clear. You're going to waste more. You're going to burn more time, running, trying to get across midfield than just firing that ball. You're kind of just giving up the possession there. You got 18 seconds left. That's more than enough time to score, face off, score again.
Yeah. Situations like that early in the year, though, guys, should make you more comfortable in a tight one like this, right? With pressure on, you should be able to hold those leads a little bit better in theory. Now, once you get out there and the game starts going on, who knows what's rattling around inside the helmets. And each guy is different, too. Some guys, the pressure might not bother you. Others, it might. Here comes the restart from Roanoke after the timeout. Down to 12 seconds. Loose ball. Hadley's going to scrap after it. It's a real fight. Couple players on the ground. Lynchburg will come out of there. Whistles blow and stop the clock with 6.4 seconds left. And now I think Lynchburg's done enough. And it's taken too long for Roanoke to get it going. And with a 2-goal lead, it looks like Lynchburg will head to another ODAC title game. There's a pass that's intercepted anyway, and there you go. Cherry on top. Lynchburg will get the victory. Hard fought in every sense of the phrase. Hornets take down the Maroons 12-10 in a game that saw everything. Lynchburg has earned the right to play and host another ODAC title game.
Dom Zingo, the senior, who's having a fantastic season, probably earned himself another All-ODAC nod. He makes the final interception and secures what will be his first ODAC championship game, as well as every player on this Lynchburg field. Their first one here on Shelley.
Yeah, and I don't know if every way this game could have played out ends with Lynchburg rushing the field, but the fact that they had to withstand Roanoke was in the control the whole game. You got to imagine there's a big release of stress and energy there. It's probably a little euphoric for Lynchburg to run out on their own home field to celebrate. Job's not done. Hats off to Tyler Hadley for making I think 3 or 4 of the biggest plays of the game down the line. And you also got to give a lot of respect to this Roanoke team who came in here. They were the underdogs. They were the 5 seed. Had to already get one upset to get here, and they played like they deserved to be here, and they certainly did.
Lynchburg holds Wyatt Whitlow, the conference's leading scorer, to just 1 goal. Roanoke spread the wealth around, but, boy, that Lynchburg defense, guys, we can run down all the names again if we want to. Offensively, Dylan Wolf, hat trick. Riley Mitchell, I think, had 4. How about the goal from Luke Meadows, timely? His second of the season. Pick a great time to do it right there, Meadows. We saw a goalie goal, the great assist from the goalie Tyler Hadley to feed it to Meadows on that one. This has been a real treat working with you guys, and you get to see a game like that. Put that one in the memory banks, and thanks to the technology, you can watch it whenever you want on LHSN. So it's perfect.
Yeah, fellas, we'll have to do it again sometime. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing on Saturday. I think I'll be free.
Well, real quick, I mean, that Washington and Lee game, Lynchburg, I think surprised some people with how well they handled Washington and Lee. Generals are pretty good. I mean, this is a heavyweight matchup coming up on Saturday. Quick turnaround, too. So we talked about the legs. It seemed like Washington and Lee had an easier time with their semifinal game today, right, Tim? Was it 18-4?
Yeah, something along that margin.
And that could be misleading. That doesn't mean they didn't work hard. But my point is, I think that's anybody's ball game on Saturday, and I really hope fans will make it out to Schellenberger or at least watch us here on LHSN.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe one thing to look at is, instead of playing back-to-back games like in previous years with a host site, both teams are going to get at least 1 day of rest. WNL does have to hop on a bus, though, and it's not a fun ride through the Blue Ridge Mountains. So
hope nobody's car sick.
Yeah, or bus sick. But Lynchburg and Washington and Lee on the docket. I had such an amazing time on the call with you guys. 3 guys up here. No one better than Kyle Haney on the PXP. Sam Graham. He's probably, got to go do some homework after this. We really appreciate him being here. The whole staff. Really good job.
Yeah,
where else would you rather be?
Camera work was great. Production was great. As always, fans were great. And we'll get to do it again. It's still it's tournament time. It is May athletics here. Lynchburg's got a lot of great stuff still going on.
Like what?
Oh, well, we got baseball this weekend. Lynchburg hosting Bridgewater, 2 p.m. Saturday, first pitch. Sunday will be at noon, and then an if-necessary game after that. Softball in action, not far from here. Not on campus, but close enough that you can go watch.
They'll also take on the Maroons, but they'll play Guilford first on Friday at Liberty. That's a real treat to have softball in the Hill City as well.
All right, well, we'll end it there, fellas. What a great game. We enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed watching it. Lynchburg, they beat Roanoke 12-10. Hornets will go for ODAC title number 3 in a row on Saturday. You'll be able to see all the action live on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.